I just wanted to say that I'm making this video not only to help me, but to help others out there with similar problems and things that they are dealing with in this moment or maybe in the future. My channel may never get big or get enough subscribers to be monetized, and to me that doesn't matter. It would be great, I would love it, it would make me happy. But with the fan base I have now, I'm going to try my best to spread just the positivity that I didn't have at the moment when I was going through issues that I'm about to talk about. This channel, it started out as something to make funny videos with my friends and just a way to keep kind of like a memory book, because nothing lasts forever, and to be able to have the ability to go back and watch these videos and remember the good times is a great way to help me deal with change. And what I've learned throughout life is the one thing that is constant is change. And I'm going to try my best to explain what I'm trying to get across in the best way that I can. In the short of it, I put the most pressure on myself. I try to be perfect. I try to do everything I can to help people, to make people happy, to better people, but I am one person, and I'm trying to work through that. What I've come to realize is nobody's perfect. Perfection, it has a definition as vast as the universe. For each person, perfection is different. It is a subjective concept that, if you try to understand, you will never truly ever get. In this world, in this universe, everything that we do because we feel is right. And I'm not saying that feeling right is wrong. What I'm trying to say is that everything in our lives, for the most part, is subjective and subject to change. There are so few things in this world, in this universe, in our life that are objective and unchangeable. For instance, the laws of the universe, the matter of which this universe is constructed, and how the inevitable heat death of the universe will happen. And this video, I'm realizing now, is sounding like a depressing and sad time, but it's more of a wake-up call. We are so limited in what we have, not only in this world, but this universe, as far as time and resources. And I'm not trying to say that maybe one day we'll be able to escape this world and go to another if that happens to be the only choice to save this planet. What I'm trying to say is that nothing is permanent. Not in this physical world, at least. And what's most important are the things that you can't touch with your hands, but that you can touch with whatever you believe is inside of you, your soul, your conscience, whatever. I'm a strong believer that nothing lasts forever in the physical plane. I believe that this plane of existence we all live on is just temporary, and a way to teach us lessons. Because what's most important when the final light goes out and there's nothing left is what we take with us when we're gone. And there are people out there who don't believe in an afterlife, and those who don't believe that what I'm saying is true, and there's some people who believe in something completely different, but they're all right. Because we will never know what will happen when we die, when we go. We can only know what we are doing right now in this moment and what we will hope to do in the future. The past is the past. I have explained this before, is that what has happened to us is not going to change. It's set in stone. That's one of the few objective things in this universe. But what is going to change is you, me, everyone. Because as much as we try to be the people we are, small things, big things, a variety of issues, positive and negative consequences, will cause us to change who we are. And what I've come to realize is that I am the one who hurts me the most, who causes the most issues. People may try to say things to hurt my feelings, to bring me down. And I'm not trying to say that you should say these things to people because it doesn't matter, because they shouldn't take them so personal. Obviously, you should really think about the golden rule of treating others the way you want to be treated. One of my biggest things is that people so often try to pin it all on themselves, and I am just as responsible of this folly. And they try to make this world about themselves, and maybe it is. No one really knows what the meaning of life is, but for me, the meaning of life is to give life meaning. I could live my life, and sometimes I wish I could live my life with the ignorance and blissfulness of just living my life to make ends meet, living, just not overthinking everything, but that's not who I am. That is not what my life, that is not the cards that I have been dealt. I am me. And this is where I'm trying to get to the point that nobody's perfect, but you are perfectly you. And I'm not saying that you in this moment is perfect, because only you can decide that. I was not happy with who I had become and the things that I have done, and it was making me bitter. So bitter in the fact that I didn't like who I was. I was changing because, like I said, change is inevitable. But I wasn't changing for who I wanted to be. I was letting the past hurt me, events, people, all these things, and I felt like I wasn't perfect. And a lot of people feel that way. Because nobody is perfect, but you're perfectly you. What I mean by that is, I guess the best way I can try to explain it is a personal experience of mine. I have been in relationships where I've been physically, mentally abused. I've been in relationships where the person I've been with had lost interest in me and found love in another. I've had friendships where I thought I could trust these people, and then they end up stabbing me in the back. And a lot of people would say, well, forget those people, which I wish I could. But forgetting isn't always the option. In a way, forgetting is just a band-aid. Like I explained in the past video that I made, that you need to learn to forgive and move on. Because the fact is that these people hurt you, yes. These events have hurt you, yes. And I've said in the past video, don't let these monsters turn you into something you don't want to be. Don't become the monsters that hurt you. I've also had family. Growing up, and I know it sounds like I'm trying to make this about me. In a way, yes it is, because it's helping me deal with these things that I've been feeling. I've had family, and I forgive them for this, and I'm finally coming to terms with it. Growing up with a divorced family is hard for everyone, and I'm not saying my issues were any more important or any more significant than anyone else's. I'm just trying to put out a point that I have gone through it, many people go through it, and everyone goes through it differently. But in hopes that I can explain how I went through it, it will help someone else. Just recently, I was just out and about, and then someone who watched my video, the Forgive, Move On, and Let Go video, they came to me and said, I would just like to say that your video had really helped me through a tough time that I was going through, and thank you for making it. And when I heard that, it kind of hit me that what I was doing was actually helping people. And it may have just been one person, and maybe more, and no one just comes and talks about it through the comments or whatever. But the ability just to help that one person made me realize that the universe is so much bigger than myself. And these people who have hurt me, like my parents who have lied to me about each other, just trying to get the upper hand, trying to make me favor one or the other, I forgive them for that. They were hurt, and hurt makes people do a lot of stupid things. I know from experience because I was turning into that person. I was hurt. I was hurting people because for some reason my hurt and the ability to lash out was making me, it was lethargic, I guess, in a way. And at least the best way I can explain it. And I don't blame these people for what they did to me, because what I am trying to say is that perfection, it's impossible to attain as a general statement. The media, people on TV, movies, they all try to point out this definition of perfection. But as you may not have noticed, is that their definitions are different. Obviously, perfect for some supermodel magazines is slender, smooth skin, beautiful hair, etc. And that's exactly why I kind of look like crap right now. Because I was gonna shave, I was gonna comb my hair, like, trim up my beard and all that. But then I realized that kind of takes away from the point of this video. I have had a long time to deal with self-confidence issues. I've always been self-confident. I've always been self-conscious about how I look and how I do things because I feel like I'm imperfect. These people who have hurt me made me feel like I wasn't perfect. But that's because my definition of perfect was wrong. And I'm trying to say that there's nothing wrong or right. Nothing is absolute. But for me, it was wrong. Because I may have not been perfect to these people, but I am perfect as me. And you are perfect as you. Which brings me to my next point of perspective. Everybody's going to see things in a different light no matter what you do, and it may be similar or might be completely different. But it's all perspective. Most of our life is perspective. When you wake up in the morning and you see the sun shining, you're like, man, this is a great day. But for someone else who's going through a hard time, it could be the worst day of their life. And I'm not trying to say that you should always worry about what other people are feeling, because you have to worry about what you're feeling too. Everyone has to look after themselves as much as they look after each other. Because we are on this earth for a limited time. And for some people, maybe reincarnation is what you believe in, and it may be plausible. But what I'm saying is, this body you have now is pretty much all you've got. And maybe in the future you might be able to transfer your consciousness, but what I'm trying to say is, whatever is inside of you, whatever makes you you, it might not be good enough for someone else. And that shouldn't matter to you. Because of the fact that you are you, and yes, you can change, but don't change to make someone else happy if it makes you unhappy. And so much in the media right now and on TV, people are all so worried about offending each other, and I'm not saying that it's wrong to do so. What I'm saying is that we all need to have more perspective in other people's lives. I have been, for a long time, stuck in my own world, in my own perspectives of saying that, like, this is the way the world is, the world sucks, there's nothing good in it, but I've come to learn that the world is like 33% positive, 33% neutral, and 33% bad. And it's that 1% that keeps the world interesting and keeps the world from being constant. And it might not be exactly 33% good, bad, neutral, whatever. But what I'm saying is, nothing is absolute. And I've said this many, many, many times. We all need to be able to look at things in a different light and have an open mind. Because if you close yourself off to the world, you're not only hurting the people around you, you're hurting yourself. To the possibility of these experiences, positive and even negative, that can define you and make you who you need to be or who you want to be. Some people believe in fate, some people believe in free will, and I'm not saying that either one's wrong or right, but what I'm saying is you'll never really know. So instead of worrying about what should be, what could be, what would be, just be, alright? Be yourself. And if other people don't like it, you gotta reflect on that. Put yourself in their shoes and see why they don't like it. If it's simply because they're hurting too, and they're lashing out, then you have to realize that it might not be you. Or it could be the fact that maybe you're the one lashing out, and if you don't like that, you need to change that. And if people don't like that, I'm not saying you have to change, but you're just hurting yourself in the long run. 'Cause it's life. It could all end tomorrow. I could die tomorrow. And for the longest time, I was okay with dying tomorrow. And I'm not saying I'm not okay with the concept of death now, because for me, I believe death is not the end, only the beginning of something new. I've been ranting a while now, I guess, and a lot of this I've thought about for a long time, and it's really hard for me to explain it, and I might just be completely blowing your mind or confusing you more on whatever situations you're dealing with, and I hope that's not the case. Like I was saying, you might need to change, or you might not need to change. It all comes down to your perspective and everyone else's perspective. What I've learned is there's 3 types of perspective. There's personal, there's social, and then there's emotional. Personal perspective is how you see you on a good day with logic and reason behind it. Social is what other people see and what the media sees or what popular view sees. And then there's emotional, because we all do things sometimes that are irrational because we're human. We get mad, we lash out, we hurt people. Do we think it's good at the time? No. We're just lashing out because we are emotional creatures. And for the longest time, I wish that I didn't have any emotions at all. But even if I didn't, that wouldn't fix the problem. There's people out there who don't feel anything, empathy, or anything at all. And are they better than me? Who am I to say? I'm just here to say that I am me now. And I'm going to change, and you're going to change. And that's where it comes to the third part of this talk that I wanted to just say that you need to accept that. Acceptance is the biggest thing that will help you move on in your life and grow to become better. And I'm not going to say watching this video is going to magically fix it overnight. I mean, I'm looking at my camera right now and seeing how I need to shave, and I'm feeling self-conscious about it, and how, I feel pale and I don't feel pretty because I'm not looking my best, and that's not making me feel good. And why should it? Because of a body that's going to decay one day and become dirt? That shouldn't matter. And of course, we're animals. We have perspective of what we like and what we don't like because we want to create an offspring that has desirable traits. And that's getting into a whole different can of worms that I'm not going to open up right now. What I'm trying to say is, everybody is beautiful. Everybody's perfect in their own way. And just because I'm saying that, I'm not trying to say it because everyone's a special snowflake or anything like that. What I'm trying to say is that you have the choice to choose your perspective to make you perfect in your own way. And if you don't like the way you are, keep trying. And accept that who you are in this moment is who you are. And try to learn from that. Try to become stronger from that. You need to also accept how others view you. Because sometimes, no matter what you do, people aren't going to change their opinion of you. And I try for the most part to have an open mind, to accept everyone for who they are on face value, and who they are on the inside. But there's been people in history who just seem like horrible people. People in your life that just seem like horrible people. Dictators, terrorists. Wars have been fought because people believe that their perspective is better and that it's perfect the way they are. And they think that their perfection is better than everyone else's. Their perspective is better than everyone else's. And am I saying they're wrong or right? No. What I'm saying is that it is what it is. And we have to accept that. And if we want things to become better for us personally, for us socially, for us emotionally, for humanity, we need to learn that perfection in the grand scheme is unattainable. And we have to use our perspective of ourselves, of others, and try to accept that. And I have to accept that. I've been hurt. Many people have been hurt. And we just keep trying to change ourselves because we think we're the problem. And maybe in some cases we are. Because I was my own problem for the longest time. People made me feel like I wasn't perfect. And you don't have to be. I kind of wish that the word perfect didn't exist. But it does. And it can tear people apart, and it can bring people together. People have hurt other people because they believe what they do is right. We have fought wars because people believe that they're right and other people are wrong. People have killed people. Terrorists have bombed places. All this negativity just because one person thinks they're better than the other, they're more correct. And for what? A world that's gonna burn up one day. A body that's gonna turn to dust. It's all pointless. Like I said, for me, the meaning of life is to give it meaning. And that's what I'm trying to do. Give the meaning of life is to give life meaning. It is to give it worth. Because who are you to say one life is better than the other? I'm no better than anyone else, and nobody's better than me. Because we're all human. We all live, we all die. But if we could live together to learn to accept each other's own definition of perfection, be able to put each other in circumstances and to learn from each other, and to feel the perspective of another, and to accept that, we could all be a lot better off. I feel now that I'm just rambling, and I feel like I always get to that point, but what I'm going to leave this video with is there's perfection, there's perspective, and there's acceptance. And there's no way to determine who is right and who is wrong. Just be you, because life is going to change. And you have to be able to change with it for the good and the bad and the neutral. And I will be there as much as I can to help those who need it most. Because that's what I want to do. Not because that's what I have to do. I no longer feel like I have to make people happy. And sometimes I have to rewatch my own videos or rethink the things I've said because I lose the path that I want to follow. So make your own path. And to be the best you that you can be. Thank you for watching this video. And thank you for being you.